An unexpected journey begins. Greetings, fellow adventurers. Gather round and lend me your ears. I shall recount a tale of extraordinary courage, unexpected friendships, and a journey that transformed a simple hobbit into a legend. Our story begins in a peaceful land called the Shire, home to Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit who loved his routine life filled with good food, pipeweed, and the comfort of his hobbit home. Little did he know that his world was about to be turned upside down, leading him on an epic adventure that would forever change his fate. The Shire and the coming of Gandalf. Picture the Shire, a land of rolling hills, lush green fields and cosy hobbit holes built into the hillsides. Bilbo Baggins, our protagonist, lived a content life in his comfortable hobbit hole. He enjoyed his meals, tended to his garden, and rarely ventured beyond the borders of the Shire. One afternoon, his peaceful existence was shattered by the unexpected arrival of Gandalf the Grey, a wizard known for his wisdom and penchant for fireworks. Gandalf's arrival was anything but ordinary. He brought with him a company of 13 dwarves led by the proud Thorin Oakenshield. The dwarves, boisterous and full of song, invaded Bilbo's quiet home, much to his discomfort. The purpose of their visit, Gandalf explained, was a grand adventure. A quest to reclaim the dwarves' long-lost homeland from the clutches of Smaug, a fearsome dragon who guarded a mountain of gold. Thorin's quest and Bilbo's reluctance. Thorin Oakenshield, heir to the throne of the Lonely Mountain, carried a heavy burden. His forefathers had been driven from their mountain home by Smaug. Thorin dreamed of reclaiming his birthright. Gandalf had a surprise in store for them all. He had chosen Bilbo, much to the hobbit's dismay. Bilbo, a creature of comfort, was appalled by the suggestion. Yet, Gandalf saw something in Bilbo, a hidden potential for bravery. Trolls, elves, and goblin caves. Despite his initial protests, Bilbo found himself swept away on this unexpected adventure. He bid farewell to the familiar comforts of the Shire and journeyed into the wild, facing dangers he had only read about in his books. Their journey led them through treacherous lands, each encounter testing Bilbo's courage and resolve. They outsmarted a band of hungry trolls who intended to make a meal of them. They found refuge in the enchanting realm of Rivendell, home to Elrond, the wise elf lord. Their luck, however, did not hold for long. As they attempted to cross the misty mountains, they were captured by goblins and dragged deep into the dark and winding tunnels beneath the mountains. It was in this terrifying predicament that Bilbo would face his greatest challenge yet. Separated from the dwarves and Gandalf, he found himself alone in the cold, oppressive darkness, facing a creature even more terrifying than the goblin's Gollum. Lost and alone in the goblin tunnels, Bilbo stumbled upon a subterranean lake and met Gollum, a wretched creature obsessed with riddles and a lost treasure. Gollum challenged Bilbo to a game. If Bilbo won, Gollum would show him the way out. If he lost, Gollum would eat him. In a tense battle of wits, Bilbo outsmarted Gollum and discovered a golden ring. He slipped it on and became invisible. Bilbo escaped the tunnels and found his way back to the dwarves. Reunited with the dwarves, Bilbo continued his journey, his courage bolstered by his encounter with Gollum and his newfound possession. They ventured into Mirkwood, a vast and ancient forest, shrouded in an unnatural darkness. Here, danger lurked around every corner, and even the air seemed heavy with unseen eyes watching their every move. They encountered giant spiders, their webs as strong as steel, and barely escaped with their lives. Captured by the wood elves who ruled that part of the forest, they were imprisoned in the Elven King's halls. Bilbo, using his wit and the invisibility granted by the ring, managed to free the dwarves from their prison cells. They escaped their captors by hiding in empty barrels and floating down the river that flowed through the forest, leaving behind the dangers of Mirkwood. After their harrowing escape from Mirkwood, the company finally reached their destination, the Lonely Mountain. The sight that greeted them was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The mountain itself seemed to loom over the land, its peak shrouded in smoke and the echoes of Smaug's roars echoing through the valleys. Despite his fear, Bilbo knew what he had to do. He was the burglar, and it was his task to face the dragon. Armed with his trusty sword, Sting, which glowed blue in the presence of goblins, and emboldened by the weight of the quest, Bilbo entered the dragon's lair. He found Smaug lying amidst a mountain of treasure, a fearsome sight. The dragon, arrogant and convinced of his own invincibility, underestimated the hobbit's courage and cunning. Bilbo managed to steal a precious gem from the dragon's hoard, enraging the beast and revealing a chink in the dragon's armor. Enraged by the theft of his treasure, Smaug, in a fiery rage, emerged from his lair and attacked the nearby town of Lake Town. However, the people of Lake Town, forewarned by Bilbo of the dragon's weak spot, were prepared. Bord the bowman, a descendant of the Lords of Dale, took aim with his last arrow, an heirloom passed down through generations. With a skill honed by years of practice and a heart filled with the hope of his people, Bard let loose the arrow. It found its mark, piercing Smaug's only weak spot, a bare patch on his chest. The dragon, mortally wounded, crashed into the lake, his reign of terror finally over. The people of Lake Town were free from the shadow of the dragon, but the battle for the treasure of Erebor had just begun. News of Smaug's death spread like wildfire, attracting the attention of men, elves and dwarves, all vying for a share of the dragon's hoard. Thorin, consumed by what the dwarves called dragon sickness, agreed for gold that clouded his judgment, refused to share the treasure. He barricaded himself and his company inside the mountain, preparing for war. Thus began the Battle of Five Armies, a clash of swords and axes, of courage and desperation. Men, elves, dwarves, eagles and goblins clashed in a brutal fight for the treasure. Thorin, consumed by his greed, realized the error of his ways only in his dying breath, reconciling with Bilbo before succumbing to his wounds. The battle, though costly, ultimately freed the lonely mountain from evil, and a new era of peace settled upon the land. With the battle over and the treasure divided, Bilbo bid farewell to the company of dwarves and made the long journey back to the Shire. He returned a changed hobbit, no longer content with the simple pleasures of his old life. He had seen too much, experienced too much to be the same. He carried with him the memories of his adventures, of the friends he had made and the challenges he had overcome. The unassuming hobbit who had once been afraid to leave his hobbit hole had become a seasoned adventurer, his heart filled with courage, wisdom, and a newfound appreciation for the world outside the Shire. Bilbo's journey teaches us that even the most ordinary amongst us can achieve extraordinary things if we embrace the unknown and face our fears with an open heart and a courageous spirit. And that's the tale of the Hobbit. It's a story of bravery, friendship, and the adventure of a lifetime. Bilbo's journey shows that even the smallest person can change the course of the future. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey. If you enjoyed this adventure through Middle-earth, make sure to give this story a thumbs up. Share it with your friends who love epic tales and mythical adventures. Stay tuned for more epic adventures, and remember, adventurers, the next great quest is just around the corner. See you next time.